having way too much fun in C standard. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm so sorry about that. Got a little carried away, a lot of carried away actually. That's too hilarious. I haven't played in C standard since high school. Hello guys, how's it going? How's it going? How's everybody doing? It's a long warm up / just jamming out. Too much fun. It's way too much fun. So everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Happy Sunday. As you can see, it's a Sunday fun day. Show us some beginner chords. That's all I play, guy. Anthony, that's all I play, bro. I promise you, that's all I play is beginner chords. Just make them sound good. Literally. And if you play the notes with your right hand, does it makes left-handed. Alright, I'm gonna show you the easiest. That's an easy chord. It's super easy. Watch this. So I'm gonna actually, matter of fact, make it super easy. I'm gonna put away this guitar and get the other one because this one's tuned to C standard, which is like not the actual like contra tuning, which is not the actual contra pitch tuning. It's actually the it's alternate tuning. I got my blue guitar, which is set for standard tuning. That's actually tuned half step down right now, so it'll be like what you're used to hearing on piano, but like a half step down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna unplug that real quick, and then I'm gonna just put this in. I have to turn the volume down so there's no feedback. Let me do this real quick for you. Let me grab that guy real quick.
Connected.
Hold on here. I got you. I might have turned the volume down a little too much there, guys. I'm sorry about that. I might have disconnected for a little bit. I'm bad with technology, as you guys know. I can't even use TikTok. Let's see here. And this shitty Chinese guitar stand I got's falling apart. Keeps fucking breaking in the odd places I don't even break at. Fuck it, I'll fix it later. Fuck it. For the time being, I just keep the video going without too much interruption. Here, I'll go ahead and show you this stuff. It's pretty cool. So the best way to play chords in guitar, like there are actually very difficult chords you can play where you gotta stretch your fingers across the fretboard. But I play primarily what they call power chords, just a root and a fifth. If you know theory a little bit, or if you're learning theory, you got your root note and you got the fifth and the phrase of the notes. You just combine them together and make a very aggressive, like, you know, like a minor sound that's kind of dark and powerful. That's all I play primarily, just power chords they call them. But it's really just a root and a fifth. It creates a very dramatic effect, and when you combine it with like gain and distortion effects, it sounds pretty killer. That's what everybody likes. That's what everybody likes about rock music. This thing's gonna take a different adjustment than I'm used to doing. I got 2 straps, like different adjustments. Shit. All right, here we go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just hope this is in tune. I had just tuned it a few minutes before I put the back guitar up. It might not be in tune. Let me check though. I just tuned everything down to half step. I was tuning this in standard. I put this one in E flat, and then I put the black guitar in C standard from C sharp. So when I go down to do my drop tune and stuff, it'll be B flat. It'll be a little more darker sounding. But let me turn this up a little so you guys can hear it. There's a lot of feedback because this is a lot of gain I'm running. So two tiny little speakers, so I don't really like that shit too much, but to further ado, here we go. I'm not gonna talk much, I'm gonna show you the chords. I'm trying to do a root and a fifth. So when you're playing guitar and you just want to play like a simple chord, you do 2 ways. You can either drop the low string down, the bar up, and play the root and fifth power chords with one finger like this. Or you can play it traditionally, which is just gonna have like root, fifth. Don't play it, play the volume out so you can hear it. Open string and you're playing the first power chord, it's going to be open and then 2nd fret and then, you know, fifth string. So you're going to play the like this. This is like it's your standard E power. It's E flat. This is gonna be G. G flat. It's G flat. And a little out of tune. Like I said, there's feedback going. I'm not looking to getting a noise gate. I think it's the input jack on this guitar. It's fucking flimsy. Causes a lot of feedback issues, but I'll take it apart one day and fix it when I got more time. But yeah. Oh yeah, she's out. What I'll do, I got these little portable tuners that came with guitars. I'll put one on and I'll get it tuned up. This is like fucking really annoying. I hate shit out of tune. But it's like really cold here and like the heat's on and off and that fucks with your tuning too. Any kind of climate change fucks with tuning. Let me go clip it on real quick, get you guys get back in tune. Super cold here, bro. Oh my god. Like, the guitar should not like fucking cold weather. I'll turn this on real quick, get it tuned up. Yeah, these little clip-on tuners come in handy. So guys, right here, you can see that right there. Little clip-on tuner, I got two of them things. Yeah, two of them things. Who am I kidding? I don't need volume for that. That's just catching vibration from the guitar. Who am I kidding? So let's sing, that's in tune kind of down there. This is a little off. That's a little off. Now it's spot on. G spot on, F sharp spot, G flat spot on. That's one, that's one. That's in. Alright guys, we're in tune. Yeah, you know what? I just started thinking, while I'm doing these videos, sometimes they keep these guys handy. Like, I got two of them, so like I'm gonna keep them like close to my little workstation here, so that whenever I'm playing, like you guys, out of tune, I can be like, oh shit, I want to fix this. I don't want to sound like shit. My biggest issue is intonation. That's why that fucking $4,000 Gibson I had, I got rid of it because like I paid $4 for this fucking piece of shit that still goes out of tune. Like, and my technician had to fucking file the frets down. It was just the biggest disappointment I've ever seen in my entire life. I will never buy another Gibson again, but cool beanie though. The beanie's fucking comfortable as shit. I love it. Better than the fucking any guitar. This is better than any guitar they make. I'm telling you right now. Butcher the Trooper really bad. I haven't played that song in years. I fucked that up big time, but it's still a fun song to play. So if I fuck it up, guys, it's what it is. It's still fun. We only do this for fun. We don't do this to prove anything. We're out here trying to fucking get signed. We're out here trying to fucking, you know, show off we're the best fucking guitar player in the world. We're doing this for fun. This is all stress relief. This is fucking therapy. We're putting this one up, getting the black guitar back. I'll pause this video real quick because the rack this sits on kind of capsized a little bit, so I'll be right back. How do you pause this thing? Does anybody know how to pause live? This is crazy. I can hit press and hold it. Well, I guess we'll just go back later on. I gotta eat anyway, so I'll see you guys later.